Chapter 9. Extra income from your recorder.
Well, in view of all the uses you've already covered, Frank, it would seem to me that there should be some money-making opportunities for a tape recorder owner. Not necessarily professional or full-time, but extra money by recording for people who don't have recorders.
Yes. Yes, there are a great many opportunities in this field, and they're bound to increase. Some that I know of right now are very profitable. Businessmen who haven't any need for a full-time secretary. John Henderson, for example. He can record dictation when it's convenient, and then employ someone who has been a secretary or typist, but has to stay at home because of small children. She can type the letters in her spare time and be paid on a per-hour or per-letter basis, whatever the going rate. Henderson also uses his tape recorder for inventory, you know.
For inventory?
Yes, he's found that taking inventory with a recorder is a lot less time-consuming and more accurate. He simply goes from shelf to shelf, records the brand number, model, and quantity. His at-home secretary types up the inventory sheets and prices the merchandise, and it's all done in about half the time. Recording weddings is another source of extra money. After you've made the tape, you can have disc records cut from it, place the records in attractive album covers, and the newlyweds buy them for remembrance gifts to close friends and relatives. Of course, it's a lot easier to sell the tape and suggest they buy a VM recorder. Say, as a photographer, you could even work up an entire slide and sound package and add narration describing the wedding as well as comments from those attending.
Including mothers-in-law?
If it makes you money, why not? Well, for this kind of work, you probably need microphone extension cords and probably more than one microphone. Usually, you would place the recorder in the anteroom or some other concealed spot. Oh, don't forget the minister's permission beforehand. If you're using more than one mic, the others can be concealed with palm fronds or some other floral decoration. Another important possibility is the recording of business meetings, club meetings and rituals, and various conferences. In fact, any type of meeting where the speeches are to be furnished to anyone in attendance. The speeches, or possibly minutes of these meetings, can then either be typed up from the recording, or the duplicates of the tape itself can be sold. With some people, the renting of the recorders themselves has grown into a profitable and full-time business. A little ingenuity helps, too. I know of one enterprising young fellow who started his own show using a recorder. He rigged up an inverter in his car so that the recorder would be powered by the battery, and then proceeded to do sidewalk interviews. The local radio station liked both the material and the young fellow with the idea. He landed himself a good job, and someone was telling me about a similar situation where this young high school student recorded the sports activities, signed up a number of local dealers as sponsors, bought the radio time, and kept the difference for profit. Not bad, eh?
Oh, they'll probably wind up owning their own station someday.
Could well be. Incidentally, if you make a recording for broadcast, record on one track only. This makes it easy to edit the tape and cut out parts that you might not want to appear in the final show. No fluffs, noises, interruptions, that sort of thing. Also, for making alterations to keep the program within time limits. Or you can arrange to provide the sound effects for amateur theatrical productions. All of the sound effects should be put on the tape with pieces of blank leader tape between them. This way you can mark the cue line for the effect. With all of the effects on one reel and in order, simply play each one on cue. If the sound effects come from the speakers located at different places on the stage, label the leads for cue and plug each speaker into the external speaker jack on your recorder as needed.